Welcome to another episode of ET Studio, NextGen Infra in association with ET Infra. The construction sector in the country is witnessing a massive boom as the economy grows. However, the need of the hour is to ensure efficient and sustainable development of this sector. BIM products are one of the solutions that can help address that particular issue, which are introduced to the AAC sector. One of the major players in that particular segment is Nemetschek Group, based out of Germany. So today we have Mr. Nirmalya Chatterjee, who is country VP and MD of Nemetschek India. They recently entered the Indian market very formally last year. So Mr. Chatterjee, a warm welcome to you to ET Studios and ET Infra. Now you entered the Indian market last year. Help us understand what drove this decision. At the end of the day, entry into a major market like India definitely would have come with a lot of thoughts and consideration. So what was the play?
Absolutely. So Nemetschek is a global entity. We are a publicly listed company. We are near about $1 billion company right now. And importantly, we are into last 60 years existing into globally. India being third largest construction market in the world and the fifth largest economy at this moment globally. And hopefully in coming years, probably going to be the third largest economy. So this significant, kind of an importance of India for Nemetschek to find it out why we are not going into this market directly. It's not that we are not present earlier also. We had our channel partners, some of the brands who have been present in India, and we have very good user base. But when it comes to the consolidation and addressing to the construction market with the better solution part of it, or to address to the customer by going closer to them. That's where the Nemetschek decided that this is going to be a good time for us to come to India, make a Nemetschek India operations, and then from there onwards, we can be close to a customer. Nemetschek in India already had one operation in Hyderabad, which has been our back-end entity for last 10, 12 years. But on the business front, this is what we have started operation for the last 1 year, just to make sure that we get good opportunities to be working with the Indian construction companies who are been heavily involved with the country's development.
Right. Going ahead as you take your business forward, the construction clients of yours, the construction companies would be the major partners. However, the Indian AAC sector or the market itself, and especially the construction players, are very diverse, right? And there are obviously, that also brings in a new set of, challenges, also opportunities. So how Nemetschek will address that particular aspect of it?
See, for the construction industry, there is a challenge is been known throughout the world, and India is not isolated on that. So if I have to define the 4 bigger challenges in the construction industry, the first could have been that 90% of the project is getting over budget or over time. That's a bigger challenge that somebody has to address it. The second one is the wastage of the raw material. At this moment, near about 20 to 25% of the raw material getting wastage in the construction space. The third one is the life cycle of the aging part of the existing, all the buildings or the assets. Our record shows that near about 42% of the global assets are coming into an end of the aging space. So that means rebuilding to those or demolishing to them, or something new has to work it out onto those. Fourth player, which is another very important, is the resource crunch. Right? Either the construction industry, whoever the existing resources are working, there might be an aged right now. The new, fresh, young bloods are not that much, encouraging to come to the construction industry. The engineering students who are architecture or civil engineers, they do not have that know-how of the technology that is required or demanded by the industry. So these are the 4 challenges that we believe that is in our hand right now. And what we wanted to work upon from a Nemetschek point of view, that our technology, if can address at least 1% of each of those issues, that is going to be a significant importance and going to add a value to our customer base. That's what our approach is going to be.
Right. Control of the life cycle cost is a very important aspect for any developer or a construction player. The whole life cycle, itself remains very erratic. In India particular, with commodities, access to all of those can really make the system entirely erratic. So when your clients and the construction players do adopt your product, how do that part of that challenge sort of gets addressed?
See, what Nemetschek is uniquely different from any of the contemporary technology companies are, we are addressing the end-to-end of the AEC space. We are having 14 to 15 brand of our products, which is addressing the whole AEC space. So we are the one company who starts from architectural concept design to a design analysis and design part of it, to the detailed design engineering, to the construction, to phasing, to operational maintenance. That's a uniquely placed us to addressing the entire ecosystem of the construction. Now, coming back to this, the life cycle part of it, what has happened if a company starts from the beginning using a better technology, so they are in the control of how it is going to be managed and then produced further. Another challenge that we have seen, and not only in India, maybe globally also, that's a different project stakeholders, being an architect, being an engineer, and the construction, they work silos. How we can bring them together. So that's what, again, the Nemetschek technology comes in with a collaboration technology, whereby the architects and the engineers can collaborate with each other, and then engineers and the construction also can be collaborating with each other. So we introduced a cloud-based collaboration on that, and through that cloud-based collaboration, all the project stakeholders are glued together, attached together, and getting the information of who's doing what and what is the progress updating on that. By having this ecosystem within one part of it, that makes a completely control of the project execution. And we believe that if this is going to be continued further with our other AI-enabled technology that we are bringing into the market, it is going to help our customers to get into the projects on time.
Right. So you are currently barely less than 1 year since your formal launch out there in the country. What has your been experience so far? I'm quite sure you have had interactions with the other major players. You talk about the architects, and as you said that your engagement with the architects would be a major segment of or part of your journey out here in India. How has this less than 1 year experience has been? If you could elaborate.
Yeah, I can understand. We are a very young, dynamic right now into India market. But what is the good and positive part of it, that from the time that we have launched and the kind of technology that we are offering, that gives us a huge momentum. For example, in India, we understood that India is a very price sensitive market. There is a myth into the ecosystems that if I'm going to adopt technology, it is going to cost much, my ROI could be disturbed. These are something which we are addressing in a very different way. What we are doing right now in India is we introduce a package system whereby any technology company can adopt our solution, who can, as per the project's needs, they can choose what they need for the project. So we are breaking down this and making it a very cost-effective approach. That's a one part of it. Secondly, what we are doing, we are addressing to the education segments very aggressively on that, because we believe that there has to be a balance between demand and the supply. So we introduce a Center of Excellence concept. We have recently done with the JJ College of Architecture in Mumbai as a Center of Excellence. We have signed up with the government of Tamil Nadu and ICT Academy. There we have signed up. We have signed up an MOU with the Lucknow University and so many other things in the pipeline. Once we are doing that, the students community are getting aware of what the Nemetschek technologies are. The other quick aspect is the kind of interactions and the importance that we are receiving from the government of India and the state government. That's very important. And that's why I can say that we are lucky enough to get a good positive momentum from the India market. Within 1 year, we have been getting quite a good responses. Some of our good projects has already been done in India by using Nemetschek technology. To name it, one of the prestigious projects is the new Parliament House building. That was based on Nemetschek technology, and we feel very proud of it. That these are the kind of big assets and iconic projects. If it is done on Nemetschek technology, I'm sure in the coming years many such projects will be there in India.
Right. As you talked about, I see that there is a differentiator. You are engaging with the academia, you are engaging with the colleges, you are engaging with the government, plus your main client, the construction players. Apart from this, what are your thoughts for the future? How do you make Nemetschek a differentiator? Because you will have competitors. This is a huge market, and it's an attractive market where other players will also come in. So how do you give a sort of tough run for the other competitors that you have?
Yeah, so we have a deep respect for all our competitors, so there is no problem on that. What we do not believe or we are against with a monopolistic approach. That's where we comes into the India market with that mindset. And we are the one company which is believer and the promoter of open beam concept. So we believe that a customer has a choice, that if they need Nemetschek technology, they will use it for some part of the project. Some of the other projects, part of it, if they wanted to go into the another platform, the technology should be open enough to data sharing from one platform to the another. And that's the differentiator for us, that we are making open beam as a standard and a promotion for it. Our technology can integrate with any of our competitive products, so that doesn't matter which technology a customer is going to use for. We respect customers' need. We are educating the customers on to understand that what you need exactly for your project. Sometimes customer is not having a clarity of what they need. So here we are playing a role with our different kind of solution approach to explaining the customers that for this part of the project, you need this architectural solution. If you are going into engineering, these are the structural design software that you need. If you are in the construction, that's the way you need to operate in the construction part of it. And we are the one company, as I said, that which starts from a concept stage of architectural design to an construction to an operate management space, and that makes us a very unique position within the India markets too, compared to any of our competitors.
Thank you. We are at a time where it's been a little bit volatile, globally. Other countries in Asia have, developed their construction industry probably at a time when the commodity prices were benign. So they had a very good run. India, as it, in the coming years, as it develops, it will have to sort of, whether the, let's say it is the commodity prices or the geopolitics and everything. How does players like you, Nemetschek, and obviously other stakeholders sort of, take ahead this vision of Viksit Bharat of 2047, where we are aiming to be a developed country? Because without a strong backbone of a very well-developed construction and infra industry, the country will not get ahead. So where does players like you come in?
See, according to us, a development of a country is purely dependent on how the infrastructure is developing into that country, whether it's being a city-based or a state-based or a national-based. And we have seen that in India, not now, many years, from last 5-10 years, there has been infrastructure has been in the priority for whichever government comes in. Recent government of India budget, if you look at, you can see that a lot of emphasis has been given on infrastructure projects with the PPP model, with the state versus central partnership model. And we believe that if the government initiative is coming into that direction to boost the infrastructure, the companies who are involved in these infrastructure projects also need to be a part of the process. And where Nemetschek comes in is bringing a good technology for those construction ecosystem, and which are the different project stakeholders, how they can overcome those challenges of the infrastructure projects and how they can mitigate that. For example, if we are having a big highway projects or a bridge projects, how Nemetschek technology can help those projects to execute it on time, on quality. These are the very important factors. And if we all work hand in hand with a technology company like us, the construction companies, the engineering companies, the government of India or the government of states, if we work together, I'm sure that maybe before 2047, we will be achieving that goal. And we should be, Nemetschek India is very proud to be participating into that Viksit Bharat goal. And we are committed to do that.
Right. Mr. Chatterjee, is really lovely that you have an all-encompassing sort of attitude and approach, bringing all the stakeholders along. So it was a very lovely conversation with you today, and really appreciate you joining us out here at ET Infra and ET Studios.
Thank you very much. So much. Thanks for having me here. Thank you.